Hello once again, VC, and thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more high-quality content and to help our channel grow. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps us get seen by more and more people. So thank you for watching. Let's roll that intro. These aren't in any particular order, but these are all records I love so much, and not just because of sound quality. They do sound great, but the music on them is fantastic. It's some of my favorite music, some of the best music ever recorded, in my opinion. And this was very hard. There was a lot of records I had to leave out that I just absolutely love, but I didn't give this a ton of thought. I didn't spend hours browsing through my shelves here, but these are just the 7 that jumped out at me, and records I listen to frequently, and records that I love. So, first record is Analog Productions' reissue of Cat Stevens' Tea for the Tillerman. I do have an original A&M pressing, which sounds very good. Those original A&M Brown Label pressings of records are phenomenal. Peter Frampton, Gene Clark, Dillard and Clark. There's just so many great A&M label artists that are on that label. And Cat Stevens is one of them. I know the original Pink Island has quite the fanfare surrounding it, but it is quite a different sounding record than this. More warmer, more rich, sort of more dulled out. Whereas this is more true to the original master tape. It's kind of harsh, some of the guitar, because the guitar Cat Stevens played was like partially made out of plastic, so it's really, really harsh, really biting sound, really like bam, you know, in your ear, in your face, and that adds just to sort of the great sound of the record. Now this is long out of print, so I'm sorry for that, including an out of print record on my list, but this was Analog Productions' first record they pressed at Quality Record Pressings. It could honestly function as a greatest hits record as well. For quite a while they raised the price. The 33 was $75 on their site. I know, kind of ridiculous. And the 45 was, I think, close to 100. I ended up picking this up on Discogs for like $50, so less than Acoustic Sounds was selling it for $4 in really, really good condition. And I'll show you some of the goodies it comes with. It comes with this nice booklet here. The first Acoustic Sounds Quality Record Pressing sort of insert. Just tells you sort of on the back here some of the records they had coming out at the time. Now there is, if you note, there is 2 more Cat Stevens releases on here. Teaser and the Firecat and Ketchup Bullet 4. Now I'm not sure why, but those never came out. I'm not sure if they were canceled because the Abbey Road half speeds eventually came out, or if there was an issue with the tapes or what happened, but those never released. You can see their Verve series here, which they're currently re-releasing a lot of those, the Acoustic Sound series. Then you open this up, you see the late George Marino mastering. You see pictures of the tapes. The original mastering engineer Lee Hulko, the original liner mastering notes. Really awesome stuff to see there. We have the record itself on that beautiful Pink Island label, how it would have been presented in the United Kingdom. The original UK releases came on that Pink Island label, and also the original UK, oh, that nice crack. It's like the original UK also had a gatefold like this. The US did not have a gatefold, so you get that awesome gatefold there. So really faithful reproduction of a facsimile of the UK version. Like I said earlier, almost like a greatest hits album. Where Did the Children Play? Miles from Nowhere, Father and Son, But I Might Die Tonight, Wild World, Hard Headed Woman, Sad Lisa. Just such a good folk rock, acoustic rock record by Yusuf/Cat Stevens. Mastered by the late great George Marino at Sterling Sound. I love this record. Elvis 24 Karat Hits, with my sort of wrecked jacket that came from Amazon that was completely obliterated. Now this is a triple 45 set. Quite hefty. You get 3 45 RPM discs here. This could also serve as a greatest hits. I'm just going through all the tracks here. Heartbreak Hotel, Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog. The first, this is 6 sides. The first 2 sides are completely mono, side 1 and side 2. So All Shook Up, Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, Jailhouse Rock, and then Love Me Tender, Are You Lonesome Tonight, Can't Help Falling in Love, Return to Sender, You're the Devil in Disguise, Crying in the Chapel, In the Ghetto, Suspicious Minds, hit after hit, song after song. There's a reason it's called 24 Karat Hits. Now the jacket is nothing special. It's just, back when acoustic sound didn't really do gatefolds. It's like a single pocket, very flimsy, very cheap feeling. Not a fan of the jacket, but a fan of the music, a fan of the sound quality. And once again, this was mastered by the late great George Marino at Sterling Sound. This is a double 45 release. It comes on that Electra Butterfly label. This is just such a fantastic record. So faithful to, you know, the Doors and their production process. They had the original engineer Bruce Botnick oversee these. Such a lovely gatefold. Mastered by the late Doug Sachs at the Mastering Lab. These are still in print, so you should grab these while you can. I don't know how much longer or how long it'll be before Chad decides to raise the prices on these, but Love Her Madly, LA Woman, Hyacinth House, Riders on the Storm. Hearing that rain fall down on this pressing is just absolutely outstanding, and it's a record I love dearly. Cheaper than an original. I don't have an original Doors pressing, so I can't. Some people seem to really prefer the originals just because the tapes were fresher. So, but I think for a reissue, it's probably as good as you're going to hear the Doors sound, unless a UHQR from a better source ever releases. Now, next up, this isn't, released by a boutique label. I guess you could call them boutique. I don't know if they even make records anymore, but it is Analog Spark. Sam Cooke live at the Harlem Square Club. I think I've talked about this record before, but I love live performances and live recordings. This is such a good sounding record. Done from the tapes. I believe this was done by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. It's on the RCA black label. Let me just make sure, check the dead wax here. Okay, Kevin Gray mastered this. So, really, really awesome sounding record. I'm not sure the price on it now. I think it's out of print, but such an awesome sounding record. It's so raw. It has such an interesting history behind it too that I suggest you read about. But really good songs on here. Chain Gang, Cupid, It's Alright, Twisting the Night Away, Bring It On Home, Having a Party. Really, really good Sam Cooke record from one of the greatest male vocalists to ever be recorded. And such a cool glimpse at seeing how he performed live. Now, another band which I could have chosen a number of records from, but just going to pick this one because it's my favorite. It has my favorite songs, and that is pronounced Leonard Skynyrd. This is also still in print. This is the double 45. It did get quite expensive when it was unavailable for a while, but really cool. On that gate, Leonard Skynyrd Smokes on the back. Again, such good songs. Such a killer debut album. Tuesday's Gone, Gimme 3 Steps, Simple Man, Freebird, Poison Whiskey, Mississippi Kid. Unbelievable debut, killer debut album from the boys of the South. It's really a shame that they were cut down so young. Produced by Al Cooper of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and who also played the organ on Highway 61 Revisited's Like a Rolling Stone, and played on Blonde as well. So, really interesting career, Mr. Al Cooper, founder of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, produced some really good records, played on some iconic records. Such an awesome, rocking, kick-ass record. Crank this up to 11 when you put it on the table, this double 45, because the sound is killer. It'll knock you off your feet if you're not already sitting down listening to it. Hell of a record. Love Leonard Skynyrd. Love Southern rock, and this is no exception into hearing one of the greatest recordings in rock history, in my opinion. The music is just killer. I love it. So if you have the money, get it. It's well worth it. It has to be in any rock collection, this record. Now, next up, this is from the Neil Young Archive series, Neil Young Harvest. I could have really picked any number of Neil Young records. This comes with that original sort of textured Neil Young Harvest sleeve on the orange Reprise label, lyric sheet in the back. Neil Young's cool, man. He does a lot of stuff. He transparently lists the sourcing of his records. What such a darn good record. It's tied between this and After the Gold Rush for me for favorite Neil Young albums, but you know, a Winnipeg icon. I love Neil Young. Another record that could honestly function. This is before he went into the ditch. I love the Ditch albums too, but Out on the Weekend, Harvest, Man Needs a Maid, Heart of Gold, and then, you know, Old Man, Alabama, and finishing off with Words. Like guitar playing, the sound Neil was making on this records were so ahead of their time. So fantastic. Neil does not get enough respect as one of the greatest guitarists and greatest rock musicians ever. I love Neil Young. And I love the Neil Young Archives and Original Recording Series. He does it right. And this record is killer. Better than the original, in my opinion. Great reissue. Cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman Mastering in Hollywood, California. This record also did get expensive for a while when it was out of print, but thankfully it's back in print at a better price. I believe there might be an anniversary edition of this, which is quite a bit more expensive, but don't buy it because it's the same mastering as this pressing. Just buy the cheaper one. It'll sound the same. Unless you're like a huge Neil Young fan and you want all the collectibles and stuff, but if you just want to hear the music as it should sound and a high quality, great listen, grab this, put it on for your friends, crank the volume up, listen to it, enjoy it. A landmark rock recording. One of the greatest, Mr. Neil Young. Now, last but not least, my favorite record of all time, maybe? I think. I used to hate this record. I never understood it till I got a little older. But here it is. The Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. The Analog Productions 33 RPM stereo. Now you may be saying, stereo? Why is stereo? Isn't this a mono record? Are you crazy? Stereo? I am a bit crazy, but this is so much better than the mono in my opinion. So much more depth to the music, so much wider and deeper soundstage. It really transforms this record from sort of just a mediocre recording to something that is just mind-blowing. I love it. Obviously, wouldn't it be nice when you hear that the drums kick off that track, God Only Knows, You Still Believe in Me. This is just like a tapestry painted. The freaking songwriting on here, man, is just unbelievable. How Brian Wilson wrote and arranged these songs is just a marvel. It really just, this album is like a love story. It's like if you've ever fallen in love with anybody, you could relate to this album, and it's just so good. It's heartbreaking and beautiful, and I love it so much. The Rainbow Capital label, mastered by Kevin Gray. Is some controversy with some price hiking done by Acoustic Sounds recently on this record. I don't agree with that. I don't like the practice, but it has been available for over a decade. Your time is sort of running out if you haven't purchased this copy. Now, this isn't the be-all, end-all of this record. There is another good version a really good version that some people prefer. It is a twofer released by Carl and the Passions. It has, obviously, that album and a stereo copy, I believe, or mono of Pet Sounds. Killer sounding. Highly recommend that version if you don't want to spring for the Analog Productions version. There's also Steve Hoffman DCC, which I don't really like. There's just too much EQ applied to it. But really awesome record. Love the stereo. The mono is, how it was originally intended, I guess, and recorded, but the stereo is just so good. And just the little details, like file under the Beach Boys, is just so cool. And then the little black stereo indicator. So cool. Just, really awesome record. I will just a kind of a disclaimer. This was used a original mono, and I think they digitized it and sort of created the stereo mix, because this album was never actually recorded in stereo. And they created the stereo. Mark Lynette, a longtime Beach Boys engineer, created that stereo mix and then put it back onto an analog tape. So this is analog. It's like analog ADA, I guess would be the correct SPARS code. But so if you have apprehensive purchasing a digital copy, that's just sort of to let you know. But the music on here, Sloop John B. I know that song is kind of divisive, but I love it. I just wasn't made for these times. I know there's an answer. The whole Beach Boys catalog being redone by Kevin Gray and Analog Productions was just such an awesome thing. And that whole series, I highly recommend purchasing. All of their records. I have most of them, not all of them, but just such a good job. An artist that is just often overlooked and doesn't get a ton of love is the Beach Boys. And I highly recommend anything from that series, but especially Pet Sounds. Such a cool record. So, thank you again for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of my picks. If you have these records, if you want these records, if you've heard them, if you have better versions, what are your favorite audiophile reissues? Let me know in those comments. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.